All right, here's the truth. I never planned on being in the mortgage business. Who dreams about it? Like, yeah, I'm going to sling some mortgages. And I didn't even know what a mortgage really was in my 20s. But this business ended up giving me something in my 20s for a career I never had direction, purpose, and a real career. So, this is a story of how mortgages actually changed my life. In my 20s, I was hustling, like really hustling. I was flipping sneakers, slinging frozen yogurt, doing door to door sales, whatever paid the bills. I worked hard, but I wasn't building anything. And I felt that pressure going into my 30s. The yogurt business was my last run. It was peaking and I could feel the decline coming. And I remember thinking, Jeff, you can't keep having random hustles forever. I actually thought real estate was the next step. The work I was doing, I figured was could be easily transitioned into real estate. I was involved with store site selection, researching demographics, looking at the foot traffic, pretty much seeing if this next store could be $1 million store. So I thought this would be a good move for me. I could help people find homes using a similar approach. And the world works in mysterious ways. Right when I was ready to quit and go study for my real estate license, a friend called. He told me about the mortgage business. I didn't know anything about it, zero. But what really caught my attention was this. If you worked for a bank, you could originate loans under the bank's license and not a separate one. You could literally get hired and be on the phones the next day. Looking back, that's crazy. But that's how it is for depository banks. And that's how I got my start in 2013. So this was post housing crash of 2008. HARP loans were still around. People were underwater on their homes, trying to stay alive financially. The company I joined bought a ton of leads. My whole job was basically pick up the phone, listen, and solve a problem. Somewhere in that repetition, something clicked. I got consistent, I got confident, and for the first time, I saw a real career forming. Fast forward to 2019, we landed a Costco partnership, and I helped run that channel. At the time, the majority of the loans I was doing was financing home purchases. But the Costco members, they wanted a refinance. And honestly, that's the most Costco thing ever, saving money on your biggest bill. Working with those members taught me volume, systems, communication, and how to operate at scale. And then COVID hit. Rates dropped hard. The entire country refinanced at the same time. We watched rates go from 5, 4, mid threes, low threes, sub threes. And if you're lucky enough, some of you probably got under close to 2%. It was nonstop. You would talk to one person and then walk out with 5 loans. It was crazy. And then 2022, 23 hit. Rates jumped. We went from 3% to 6, 7, 7.5. And unfortunately, some people probably got 8%. Refinances were gone overnight. Purchase volume slowed down, and I saw companies collapse. And this was my first real downturn, and it forced me to stop and think, okay, what's the next chapter? What do I want the next 10 years to look like? For years, I was doing great work, but only inside the box my company allowed. And if you didn't know, banks and retail lenders have a limited set product. If a borrower didn't fit the box, they're out. Now imagine if you were self-employed, someone with real income, but not the cleanest W 2. When I finally took a leap of faith and joined the broker side, it felt like that movie scene in The Matrix, with the key maker, where he has access to hundreds of locked doors. That's what it felt like for me. I now had access to bank statement loans, DSCR, assets, a ton of niche products. So instead of saying, hey, man, sorry, you don't qualify, now I can say, hey, let me look into it and find you a lender. So it shifted my entire identity of the business. And here's the deeper reason this all matters to me. Back in 2008, my parents got HARP mailers and ignored them. They thought they were scams. They didn't understand the programs. They only trusted what the banks would tell them because that's all they knew. Eventually, they ended up refinancing under the HARP program, but it wasn't what they signed up for. It wasn't the best fit. Not because they were careless, but because nobody explained it clearly. I didn't know what they were doing. When I finally learned this business, though, I realized how many families, especially immigrant families, are one conversation away from a mistake. And that became my mission. So that's why this channel exists. Ink Pricer isn't a corporation, it's a persona, a platform, a way for me to teach without any pressure and without any confusion. So if you're a home buyer, this is for clarity. If you're a homeowner, this is for smarter decisions. If you're a future loan officer, this is a mentorship I wish I had. So from here, we're starting a new series where I break down every loan product the same way a club fitter breaks down a golf club, who it fits, how it behaves, and why matching matters. I'm Jeff Shin. I'm a mortgage builder, and this is Bank Pricer. My goal is really simple: help you see mortgages clearly so you can make smarter decisions with less stress. If that sounds useful, stick around for the next episodes. We'll walk through each loan product the way a club fitter walks through shafts, so you can finally understand which one actually fits you.